What's up, fucktards? I'm back! Did you miss me? No, you didn't. Shucks. Okay, so, yeah, I've been off the radar for a little while. Life got pretty nasty for a week or two there. And, yeah, stuff is getting a little better. And I'm back, and I'm going to start making these happy little cheery fuck-filled videos. And, the first thing I want to talk about is, about a week ago or something like that, one of my buddies on Facebook that I go to locals with messaged me and was like, hey, what do you want to play at regionals? My first question was, what regionals? That's how much below the radar I was really thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And shit like that. And it's like, so just immediately went to Yu-Gi-Oh! Website, found out that regionals is on December 8th in Charlotte. I'm like, oh, that regionals. Yeah, if I don't know what I would play if I go, honestly. Because, I really hadn't been paying attention to everything. I know what's good. I know how to kill what's good and everything. And, so I really started thinking about it. Was undoing lots since then. And, I've come to a couple conclusions and figured out exactly what I want to play there. So, let's go over this thought process. And if, you didn't catch, my last, Warpath on Regionals video set or something like that, I've got a certain criteria of things that I want to look at when I look at decks to play and stuff like that. And me, I am an anti-meta player. So anything big right now, like Atlantean Mermail is big. People are dick riding Inzectors like hell. And there's a couple other decks that are just really nasty out there that get wrecked by these two cards, Macrocosmos and D-Fissure. Okay? So, if you're an anti-meta player, you'll be playing a deck that either can side the hell out of these things or is going to main deck the hell out of these things. And I'm going to play a deck that can main deck the hell out of this. I'm talking 3 copies of this. Actually, no, I'm going to main deck 2. I'll side a third, but side D-Fissure like a mofo. But, this is a really damn good card right now. If you can just draw this out very early in the game, start controlling with it, it's amazing. Now, we know, yep, I'm a big fan of Mega Capital G, and we know how, if you watch his videos, how he's drinking the Macro Rabbit Kool-Aid. That's awesome, because Macro Rabbit is a very good deck against the meta. However, I'll disagree that Macro Rabbit, excuse me, that Macro Rabbit is the best deck that can play Macro right now. Because it isn't. Because you can still lose out a lot of stuff because of Macrocosmos in that deck. And I say this because there is another deck that doesn't lose anything to Macro, that is better, and it really doesn't give a fuck about your opponent's deck, as long as you have those two cards out, the Macrocosmos and the D-Fissure. Do we need to know what archetype this is? Because if you know me, it's going to be something trolly, it's going to be really mean, and it's going to be just, it's going to make people rage quit because it's annoying as hell. And these guys, oh shit, yes, we're going to talk about Watts again. Now, yeah, I know I talked the hell out of the Wattcobra lock last time and did really well with it. It was a really good deck at the time. There's better. There's this Macro Watt deck, and the deck list will be down there, at least what I've been experimenting with. And there's a couple things I really want to talk about. So, first of all, in order, if you're going to play a deck like Watts, you have to have something that is going to save your ass from attacks. Because, let's face it, these guys are little In fact, this guy with 1,000 attack is one of the bigger Watts, along with the Giraffe and shit like that. And you have to have lots and lots of protection. Now, in Hopper Locks, you had shit that protected you, like you played Messenger of Peace, which you still play in macro Watts. However, your main defense was your Hopper Lock. So you get 2 Watt Hoppers on the field, your opponent cannot attack your Watts, nor can they target them with effects. So pretty much they have to nuke the field to get red for you, or play something like Creature Swap, or Smashing Ground. However, you don't have that same ability with macro Watts, because you have the ability of losing your Watt Hoppers, and if that's your biggest defense, then you're going to start sucking eggs and dick really, really quick. So, on top of that, you play multiple copies of Messenger of Peace, because Messenger of Peace is awesome. Swords of Revealing Light, I think I want to main 2 of these things in there, because it's really, really freaking good. We all know how good Threading Roar is right now, so you main 2 of those, and I'm maining the shit out of this card. I'm drinking Kool-Aid over this. This is called Red Screen, and a lot of people don't even know this card exists. Red Screen says your opponents cannot attack. This is a continuous trap card. So as long as this thing is on the field, your opponent cannot declare attacks, which is awesome. Downside, you pay 1,000 life points during each of your end phases, and it's not an optional effect. So if you don't have 1,000 life points at your end phase, it kills itself. So, it's got a whole bunch of other spiel about Red Dragon Archfiend and summoning crap, and that doesn't matter. You just don't want your opponent to declare attacks on you, which is why this card is amazing. Now, you're probably thinking, it's like, why in the hell would you play a card that is such high risk for playing life points? You won't be able to play warnings, you won't be able to play stuff like that. I'm not going to play warnings then, because honestly, you don't give a crap about what your opponent summons on you. You just want to make sure that your opponent doesn't attack you and everything. The other good thing about Red Screen, and I said this because your opponent's monsters really don't give a shit, or you don't give a shit about your opponent's monsters, is because of these guys. Because these guys don't give a shit about your opponent's monsters. If you really think about it, these guys attack directly. They get their effects when they attack directly. So, Wattcobra is like the key to the entire deck. It adds more Watts from your deck to your hand. And Giraffe is just the ultimate stun card. If it does damage, your opponent can't activate spell trap effects, or monster effects until the end of your turn, which is fucking awesome. It means that you can just set all your shit. You don't have to worry about end phase MSTs, and you don't have to worry about end phase of bit spheres and all that crap going off. The other thing that's really, really good about the Watt archetype is this card, Wattdragonfly. Now, I've said over and over and over again that this is the ultimate floater in the game, at least for special summoning floaters. This thing, if it gets destroyed by your opponent's attack or by card effect, it special summons another Watt. The trick is, it doesn't care where it goes. So you can have macro out. Just set this guy, your opponent attacks, guess what? You still special. So it gives you instant access to your Cobra. And the thing is, with this deck, since you play so much attack hate through swords, through threatening wars, through red screens, through Messenger of Peace, you can control when your opponent attacks you and not. And that's a really, really awesome thing to be able to do, is that kind of field manipulation. The other thing that I'm really, really digging about this deck right now is because you have a new searcher for the deck that speeds it up so damn well, and that's Thunder Seahorse. Thunder Seahorse says that you can discard this card and then add 2 Thunder type monsters of the same name with 1600 attack or less from your deck to your hand. You can only activate it once per turn, and you can't special summon this turn. So it's kind of like a Pot of Duality if you really think about it, but it's a +1 instead. The other great thing about this card, it doesn't matter where it goes either. You can have macro out, and you still get the effect. And sorry, I just dropped a card. And it's one that I want to talk about right now. And we're talking about main deck text for this, and why I love this right now. There's lots and lots of decks out there that can't do crap to you if they can't special summon. Mermails are one of those. You know, if they can't get their effects off, then they have to go with special summoning techniques. And if they can't special summon, then they can't do crap to you. Well, what's one of these big cards that at least everyone should be at least citing a copy of, that nobody really can main except for this deck? This thing, Fossil Dyna, the Field Nuker. And this card is amazing in this deck. You main deck 2 of these guys because you don't special summon at all in this deck except for your Wattdragonflies. And there's absolutely no way you're going to have a Wattdragonfly on the same field as Fossil Dyna. But Fossil Dyna is absolutely amazing right now. There's lots and lots of games where I've sat on a Messenger of Peace and had a Fossil Dyna and a Wattpheasant on the field at the same time, and just won with those 2 cards over and over again because with Messenger of Peace and this, it gives your opponent a 300 attack point buffer that they have to get under. If they can't get under that buffer using something like a Mystic Tomato or something of that sort, they can just get under Messenger of Peace and just get over Fossil Dyna, they're kind of hosed. And if you're attacking with Wattpheasant, they have a face-up monster. You can just banish that monster with Wattpheasant's effect after it direct attacks. Just banish their one monster and start attacking directly again with Fossil Dyna. And it's kind of adding insult to injury if you really think about it. There's lots and lots of times where I've won game simply because I had a face-up Fossil Dyna and a Messenger of Peace and just kept on swinging for game. The opponent couldn't do anything about it. The other thing I'm really digging is another one of these little special summon monsters. Like I said, you don't special summon that much, but when you do, it really does matter. Excuse me. This card, Lava Golem. I think it's freaking amazing. And yeah, I said earlier that you really don't care about your opponent's monsters and crap like that, but you really don't. The reason you have Lava Golem in here is kind of like a win more. He gets rid of problem monsters that, you know, really will cause a problem. Cards like JD, because people will still play Lightsworn. Cards like BLS, because they still will banish the hell out of your monsters. Lagias, Dolkas, Abyss Gallows, or whatever that, you know, rank 7 Abyss Exceed is, because people are going to be using it like skill drain and shit like that. But this is absolutely amazing. If you can pop this behind a messenger or have a red screen up, it just gets the game done a hell of a lot easier. Since, you know, your opponent's going to be taking 1,000 each standby phase. So if you have your opponent into a predicament where you already have a pretty damn good field setup with maybe a couple Cobras and a Giraffe or something like that, and then you go to your turn when you don't need to summon special a Lava Golem on their side of the field, yeah, it just tears the game in half pretty much with that. So like I said, the deck list will be down there. Give up your thoughts and your opinions. I will definitely read up and take in consideration. Try this deck out on DN, give it a few shots, and you know, if you're into trolly as shit decks that just they just control as hell and frustrate people, and that's another thing is the psychology of this deck. And I haven't talked about that. I'm talking about psychology of decks in a long time. The psychology behind this deck is so mean. Because if you really think about it, you're putting all this stuff on the field that your opponent doesn't have a lot of answers to. So let's face it, your opponent is most likely going to be maining 2 MSTs, a Heavy Storm, and, you know, a couple other monsters that will get rid of spells and traps. And you pack so much spell and trap answers to attack that it's really not funny, as you'll see in the deck list down there. And what is going to be happening is your opponent is going to be on a constant reminder that they have to get rid of your back row. And you play back row protection. Let's put that out there too. While you really don't care about that, all you want to do is get one of these guys out. Because as soon as you get a protector card out and you get one of these out, you start winning. And because, like I said, Wattcobra is the boss. He just adds so much speed to this deck, and because you can play stuff like Thunder Seahorse, it just gets even better. But once you get your good setup, and it really is a minimalist setup if you really think about it. You don't have to set up a Watthopper lock and wait 3 turns to really start punching into your opponent. You can start punching in turn 1 if you go second. Like I said, it's a different psychology because your opponent is going to be on that defensive, trying to figure out what to do against you, while all you're doing is just moving forward. And it puts lots and lots of pressure on your opponent because, like I said, you don't care about their monsters. They can summon a lot of shit, but if they can't attack you, then they have problems. So, like I said, comment down below. Tell me what you think about the deck. Definitely try it out. And give me your thoughts and opinions, you guys. This is V85. Back again, over and out.